Hello YouTube. Today we are going back to the Captain America movies with Iron Man and Captain America Heroes United. And in this one, Captain America has a brilliant plan. Get captured and brainwashed. Truly, he's a genius. Let's get into it. So our movie starts off with Red Skull and Taskmaster discussing their plan about stealing one of Tony Stark's new weapons from the Avengers airbase. Not sure when the Avengers got an airbase. I guess that Tony Stark was just bored and decided to make one. So yeah, they got an airbase now, and then we go to Captain America and Iron Man setting up a bet. Truly, the most engaging thing they've ever done. So yeah, Captain America's side is pretty much just saying you need a plan to go into things, and you also need strategy to follow that forward. Whereas Tony Stark's just saying, screw it, do random stuff and think of it on the spot. Truly, this is a battle of wits. So they fight over that, because the best way to decide which is better is not going into the field and actually trying it out. No, it's just fighting each other. Guess that is the perfect plan. So, yeah, Stark loses, but they don't have enough time to discuss that because now Hydra is breaking in. So they're busy with that, and Iron Man's just sort of beating up random goons, and Captain America starts taking on Taskmaster, which eventually he loses. But apparently he was just faking it. Yeah, he faked it so he could get captured. Okay, not a bad plan, but what does he have in mind to do now that he's captured? Stay there and get brainwashed. Yep, perfect plan. There's nothing that could go wrong with this plan whatsoever. That is the best plan in the whole universe. Really, what are you thinking, Steve? Like, I thought that he would have a plan to gather intel, which, yeah, in a way he sort of does, but there is no way that he could predict Red Skull brainwashing him to work for Hydra. But he just somehow knew that, because that's the main basis for his plan here. Did he find out what Red Skull was planning like weeks in advance and then just decided to do something about it now? Because they attacked him? Like, really? How did he know that? But anyway, yeah, now Hydra has taken some of his blood, and they've also taken most of his memories on fighting, and somehow inputted memories into the computer. Don't know how they did that. And yeah, they also brainwashed him. Oh, and on a side note, Taskmaster stole one of Iron Man's suits, but he can't get into it, so it's not important. So, after a little bit, Tony finds out where Steve is, so he goes in to break him out. And then he has to fight Captain America as Hydra. Only on the animated field will we ever see this. Yep, we'll never see this in the comics. Okay, yeah, I know it's being done in the comics now. So, yeah, Iron Man and Captain Hydra have a good little fight for a bit, and Steve is just sprouting out nonsense about Hydra. Don't know why, but it's annoying. So, eventually, Iron Man's able to beat him and fix his brainwaves, because apparently that's what was wrong with him. Yeah, it wasn't brainwashing, it was brainwave manipulation, apparently. So, yeah, he fixed that. Again, another thing that Captain America would have to plan for in advance for this. I guess he just figured that this would happen too. So, yeah, he just sort of thinks of everything, I guess. And now that he's been freed from the mind control, he continued to fight Iron Man. Shocking. So, he makes it look like he killed him. Taskmaster trusts him enough to say, hey, want to help me take over Hydra? It's just my random plan for the week. But Cap declines him and also beats him up. So now Iron Man and Cap are ready to attack Hydra. Now given intel as to where Hydra base is, because that wouldn't be implanted into Captain Hydra's head. Because I guess knowing where Hydra's base is wasn't that important to the whole entire Hydra takeover plan. So now they found where the base is. Captain America gets back in his, well, Captain America suit, and they decide to take on Hydra by themselves because, yeah, 2 people can take down all of Hydra. Surprisingly, they almost accomplished this. If not for the super soldiers made out of Captain America's blood, who have giant Captain America shields. Okay, where did Red Skull get that much vibranium? I want to know. Did he go to Wakanda and steal that? I really want to know. Seriously, is that even vibranium? They're never that specific about it. It could just be an ordinary metal, but yeah, Captain America's shield is surprisingly made out of vibranium. So yeah, pretty sure they would need to get vibranium to make an accurate representation of his shield, which is what they were apparently going with. So where'd he get that? I guess he could have raided Wakanda, but amazingly, Black Panther, he runs that place. And all of the people who live there are highly intelligent. So yeah, I'm pretty sure they would have noticed Red Skull and Hydra coming in and stealing half of their vibranium, which is one of their main exports. So yeah, amazingly, I think that they would take a lot of precaution when it comes to that. But I guess that they were just able to steal it easily, or maybe they just found it somewhere else. I don't know. So, yeah, either Red Skull has been preparing for this moment for years, or he just went to Wakanda and somehow got out this much vibranium without them noticing. Or maybe they did notice and it was a big epic fight that we didn't see. So, take your pick on that. And yeah, then they pretty much start to fight some more, but they're outnumbered. So what are they gonna do? Call in the Hulk! Where did he come from? When was he ever a point in this movie? When did they even say that he was an available resource to call in? If so, why didn't they call him before? Seemed like he would have been needed a little bit before this, but apparently they just decided to call him in now because he could have helped in success earlier. Maybe even before they got that arc reactor cannon from Tony. Just saying, could have been helpful there. But at least he's here now, so he starts fighting off all the Hydra goons. And then Taskmaster comes in, now having broken Tony Stark's security code. So now that he's gone through that, he now has an Iron Man suit. And yeah, it's kind of cool. So yeah, he's about ready to betray Red Skull when he can't. Okay, why? Because apparently he was also brainwashed at one point. They just erased the memory of it. Well, that's slapped on. So, yeah. Taskmaster now works for Hydra. He's got no choice in the matter. Oh, and so, if you're thinking that he's gotta at least make witty quips about this, he isn't, because apparently being controlled by Hydra also means that you can't talk at all until you're fighting Iron Man alone. For some reason. So yeah, we don't even hear how he hates this job or anything like that. Woo! Because him using modern slang was never a part of his character at all. Just so you know, if you don't know the character, it is. So, yeah. Eventually, Iron Man breaks him out of that programming. Also, turns off his suit so he can't do anything. Yeah, because I'm guessing that Taskmaster wouldn't be able to be helpful in getting revenge against Red Skull or anything. No, he won't be helpful in that front. Just leave that to Captain America. So, yeah, Captain America eventually beats him, and then they just leave. No need to apprehend the criminals here, just leave. They just left the apprehending part up to S.H.I.E.L.D., who just so happened to find them. I guess that they were also called in. Again, could have been kind of useful before this point, but I guess that they were too busy doing other things. Like worrying about Daisy or something. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. Just so you know, Iron Man and Captain America's bet is now settled. And apparently Iron Man won at one point. When did that happen? We never saw that happen. Seriously, where did he win? Like, they're fighting, if anything, Captain America won because he got Tony Stark to use strategy. So, yeah, apparently Captain America winning also equals Tony Stark won. So, now he has to wear some Iron Man armor, which of course is the Iron Patriot, which also has a holographic Captain America shield. Don't know where that came from. Pretty sure Rhodes would prefer to wear that. And also, why doesn't Cap just use his ordinary shield? But whatever, I guess he doesn't want to. So, and then they decide, well, screw it, we're bored now, so let's fight the Hulk. So, yeah, eventually the Hulk wins, and they all go out to get pie. Really, that's the ending statement of the movie. They all get pie. So, story for this one, I don't really think it needed to be made to a movie. Like, alright, it's kind of cool because in some regards we get some characters that might be unfamiliar to people, like Taskmaster, who is an awesome character from the comics, and personally one of my favorite Marvel villains, so I was glad to see him finally be brought to a movie, but yeah, he's not really that big of a focus here, which was pretty disappointing to me. And the whole entire thing with Red Skull being in control of him, yeah, that's really slapped on, and it's never explained as to when exactly that happened. It just happened at one point. Don't question it, just go along with it. So, yeah, that made no sense. And also, yeah, Red Skull's plan, kind of confusing, as he would either have to plan ahead for weeks for this, or he would just have to go in and steal vibranium. Also, when did he get vibranium? I still want to know that. The whole other thing with Captain America and Iron Man's bet is really unimportant, and for some odd reason takes up a big part of their lines in this movie. Like, half of their dialogue in this movie is about this stupid bet. The rest of it's just sort of about Hydra and stuff, like stop Hydra. So, yeah, that I personally just found to be really boring, and they didn't really need the story arc with they have a bet going on. It's not exciting, guys. It's not exciting. Just why do we need a story arc where Captain America have a bet going on? It's not interesting. I get that's supposed to be used as a plot device, but most of the time plot devices can at least be engaging. This isn't. It's just a bet going on. There's nothing exciting about it in the slightest. So, yeah, that part was very boring. The Hulk comes in very unexpectedly. Seriously, where'd the Hulk come from here? I really want to know. But I at least did like the representation of his character here. I'll talk about that later, but yeah, he was actually done pretty cool here. I'm actually kind of interested in seeing Iron Man and the Hulk Heroes United. And yes, that is actually another one of these movies. Because apparently Iron Man teams up with someone. Heroes United is a movie franchise which just needed to be expanded upon. So I don't know, maybe this one's a sequel and maybe that would explain more of the Hulk when he comes in. But yeah, I don't know, he seemed very slapped on. So for the story, I'm gonna give it a 5. It was kind of cool in the way they did, and there are some points that I did like. Like, they got to the Captain Hydra thing first, so that was kind of neat, but yeah, it's pretty much solved the exact same way as you would expect it to be. Either you're stronger than this, fight it, which of course is brought up at some points, but yeah, it doesn't work, which I was glad about. Or just, we have a solution here, okay, that worked. And yeah, that's pretty much how fast it's solved, and it's just there for like 5 minutes. So yeah, the big plot point in the Captain America comics right now was like 5 minutes in a movie. Very, very engaging. So, yeah, 5 out of 10. The story could have been done a whole lot better, and I think they could have made it a more flowing way as to how Cap and Iron Man get involved in the story and maybe cut out the dumb thing with the bet. But all in all, it's alright. I mean, I've seen worse. I've definitely seen worse, but yeah, I think it could have been done better. So, yeah, 5 out of 10. Now let's get into the characters. So, to start off the characters, let's go with Iron Man, seeing as he's the first one brought up in the title. So, Iron Man, he's alright. Okay, so he's kind of a dumbed down version. Like, he doesn't swear at all, which I was disappointed by. We don't get to hear Captain America say language. Sad. But yeah, he is kind of dumbed down for this movie, and yeah, his quips aren't really as funny as they are in either comics or the movies, so yeah, it's not really that great, but I will at least say they got his character personality down mostly, you know, that's not hard to do, but yeah, they did at least get that down, so he's alright. There's nothing really overly wrong with him, it's just I think that he could have been done much better than he was. He's just pretty bland overall. So for Captain America, he's pretty much the same. They got his character down, but again, not that hard to do. But yeah, he's fine, I guess. Nothing really overly wrong with him. He's just alright. And he also... So now let's talk about Captain Hydra. Yeah, I'm pretty much calling this a different character because it's not Steve Rogers. This is a different character entirely. So yeah, Captain Hydra. I wonder if the writers of the comics right now got the idea from this movie. Yeah, probably not. But yeah, it's pretty much actually pretty close storyline to the comics. Outside the thing with the little girl, pretty much, yeah, Red Skull has now brainwashed Captain America into becoming Hydra. So, I guess in that regard it's alright. But, yeah, it's still pretty boring. Like, he still just sprouts out random things about how you can't beat Hydra no matter what. Hydra will always be here. Hydra is unstoppable because Hydra's amazing. You can't beat it. And, yeah, that can get annoying very fast. So, yeah, I was personally glad that there was just 5 minutes of them, but yeah, it would have been nicer to have that a little bit expanded upon outside of just 5 minutes. And how does Captain America feel about being brainwashed to work for Hydra? I think he's indifferent about it. Guess that's how I would feel too. So, yeah, it's not really that engaging there. So for Red Skull, he's not in it that much, actually. He's only in it for like 10 minutes. Half of that is his ending battle, and the other part is just him talking to Taskmaster or just talking to Captain America. He's not really that important to the movie outside of just being the big villain. And, well, yes, he does still have his priorities set on Hydra, which, yeah, that's a big part of his character, and he's alright in that regard. He's not really that great, and yeah, for the little bit of screen time that he has, I guess he did fine with it, but yeah, he could have been done much better. I would have liked it if this was more of a personal grudge for him, but it just sort of seemed like, hey, Captain America's a good person to do this test on. I guess I'll do it on him. So, yeah, I didn't really feel like there was any real personal reason for doing it, which I think could have made it more interesting. For Taskmaster, I thought it was really awesome to actually be able to see him in a movie. Too bad he's in this one. Yeah, Taskmaster, if you don't know, seeing as he's a pretty obscure character, he is pretty much a villain who can recognize other heroes' moves. He is a bounty hunter with that information. He can pretty much remember all other heroes' moves. So he's a very tough opponent to face, seeing as he can pretty much mimic your attacks. And he can also combine that with his own info about other superheroes' attacks. So he can pretty much combine the Hulk strategy with Captain America and Spider-Man. And use all that against someone like Tony Stark. So, yeah, he can be a very big force to be reckoned with, but here he is pretty much just... he's pretty lame here. I just gotta say that. He's pretty lame here. So, for one, he's just sort of a hired gun for Red Skull, and while you can see he doesn't like that, I still would have liked that to have been expanded on a bit more. Or, heck, this is one of his very first appearances outside of the comics. Maybe show his backstory in here or something. That could actually be pretty interesting, seeing as, yeah, his backstory is a pretty fascinating one. But no, they decided to stray away from that and just focus on him working for Hydra here, and it's not really that engaging. I mean, okay, at times it can be kind of fun to see him and Red Skull banter about things. That's kind of funny, but yeah, it's not really exactly what I wanted from a Taskmaster being put on screen. Like, I thought it would be much cooler than it really is, and while it's fine, I still think it could have been done a whole lot better. Seeing as how awesome this character is, he could have been done a whole lot better, but he's alright. So then after him, we have the Hulk, who, like I said before, I actually really do like his portrayal here. For one, we can see that he is very angry about things, and yeah, of course we can get him to snap. But we can also see that he is actually very intelligent. Like, they find that good balance between the two. he doesn't seem overly intelligent, so you don't feel like it's so then you don't feel like it's more Banner in control, but it's kind of like both personalities have been mixed together. And I do actually really like that. So I do like that very good balance that they have in this movie. The Hulk, by far, was probably my favorite part, even though he's in it just for a little bit. So, yeah, for the characters, I'm giving them a 6 out of 10. They're alright, and they at least got the character general idea down, but yeah, they could have done a whole lot more to expand on them and make them more fascinating to follow in this adventure, but all in all, like, it's alright. I don't mind it. So, yeah, 6 out of 10. Now, let's get on to the animation. God. So, the animation here. Oh my god. Okay. Was this movie based off of a video game? That is seriously my main question with this animation. It looks very, very much like a video game. And wow. Okay, so yeah, on the one hand, it's very stylistic and it can be kind of nice to look at if you just want to view it as its own style, and I do at least like the style that they went with, especially on the water. I thought that looked awesome, but yeah, it just... oh my god, okay. It's not bad. The fighting scenes can be good. I will give them that. They can be good. But the worst part is the character animation. It is just... wow. Okay, so their lips barely move, for one thing. Like, they move and they're at least in sync, but they barely open up. So it's not like they express that much. Like, the biggest that they can express is this. Like that. That's their biggest expression. And it's just amazingly awful. Okay, so it just doesn't look good. This animation, sure, you can warm up to it after a while. Then you see them talk again, and it's just awful. So, yeah, for the animation here, it is just... wow. Just wow. So, yeah. Final score on the animation here. 4. Just a 4 out of 10. It just... I give it a 4 because, yes, it is very stylized, and at times it can be nice, but overall, it just looks like a cutscene from a video game. Again, making me wonder if it was from a video game, as, yeah, there is a scene where Tony Stark also brings up a boss battle, so this could have just all been like one of the Final Fantasy movies. They're just like cutscenes from the game or something all being compiled together for a movie. Could have been one of those, but I just didn't care to check out. So, yeah, the animation 4 out of 10, it's just... it's awful. So, yeah, it's an amazing kind of bad. So, it's incredible. So, yeah, animation, not very good. Stylized, but not very good. So, for this movie overall, it's okay. Very, very okay. If you want to see another Captain America movie, and you've already seen the live-action ones, this one's okay to check out. Same can be said for the Iron Man movies. If you're a fan of those, then you could like this. It's alright. And if you like Taskmaster, he's at least in this movie. That's something. So, yeah. Not really the best of the Captain America movies, but it's still alright. The overall story, well, okay. Could have been much more engaging, and also could have had a more fascinating storyline to it, given the subject matter, and also the characters that are being brought into it, like Taskmaster. Again, they could have made him much more awesome in this movie, which he always is. But here, he's just lacking a lot of his character personality, and yeah, that does have a negative effect on him. So, yeah, for most of the characters, they're not really that engaging. Probably the best one is the Hulk, but even at that, he's still okay. So, yeah, for this movie, I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 10. But the animation is god-awful. Like, it is so bad looking. Like, I can't believe that this is really a movie. Like, really, was this a video game animation thing? Like, were they inspired by a video game or something? I really want to know, was this a video game or something beforehand? Because it really seems like it, given the animation quality, which is pretty low. So, yeah. It could have been much better. Much, much better. But, all in all, it's fine, I guess. I didn't hate it. It's a pretty dumbed down version of Captain America and Iron Man than what it could have been. If you want to see a better one, MCU. The MCU is by far the best to check out. But, yeah, it just could have been done a whole lot better. So, yeah, 5 out of 10. And next week, October. So, we will be looking at Spawn, the animated series. I can't wait. So, yeah, that should be fun. Bye. Cannot wait for Spawn.